And hi everyone, welcome. It's great to see so many people here today. So today we're going to be talking all about eBay for Change. So eBay for Change is an initiative that kicked off, we've been running for about a year. The key focus of this program is all around supporting the growth of the social enterprise sector. So we're going to take some time today to run through exactly what that means and what that looked like. But before we sort of get into the detail, we've got some of our program team here today, also some of our partners as well. So we'll kick off with a little bit of intro, so you know who you've got with you today. So hi everyone, my name is Helen. I sit in the social impact team at eBay and I lead on the eBay for Change program. I will next hand over to Joanna. Joanna, you're actually a little bit of an intro for us.
So somebody emailed asking for the link. Yes, I'm Joanna Pollard. I'm the project lead on eBay for Change for Social Enterprise UK and the World Fair Trade Organisation. So I'll be your point of contact if you decide to come along to the eBay for Change programme. My background is in fair trade. I ran my own business for 17 years as a fair trade retailer. So I've been where you are, basically.
Great, thanks, Joanna. And the eBay for Change programme is run in partnership with eBay, Social Enterprise UK and the World Fair Trade Organisation. And we've actually got Charlie from SUK here with us today. So Charlie, can I hand over to you to do a little bit of an intro, please?
Sure, yeah. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm Charlie Wigglesworth. I'm the Deputy CEO at Social Enterprise UK. For those of you that don't know, SUK are the kind of national trade body for social enterprises. We have about 3,500 members in all shapes and sizes, all bits of the sector, seeking to kind of champion them to government, but also to work with partners who can help us to grow the market for social enterprise, eBay being very much one of those in particularly the B2C space.
Great, thanks, Charlie. I think we've got Yetta, who is our partnership lead at the World Fair Trade Organisation. I've literally just had a message from her, so I'm hoping she might be joining, but we'll give her a couple of minutes on that one. I've just seen that Chris Gale has also joined us. Chris heads up our social impact team. Chris, do you want to say a quick hi? Oh, no. Maybe can't hear us, no worries. So yes, I haven't seen Yetta join us yet, but if she does, we'll stop for a second and do a quick intro. There might also be a couple of people joining us from our training team. So training is one of the key aspects of the programme, and anyone who does join us on the eBay for Change programme will be working very closely with that team. So if they do join us, we'll spend a little bit of time just introducing you to them as well. Right, let's kick start. I will just share my screen.
And I just let everybody know, I've enabled closed captioning. So if you're not a native English speaker, or if you're due to sort of neurodivergence or whatever, you find it easier to read what Helen's saying rather than just listening, you can enable the closed captioning so that you'll be able to do that.
Great, thanks, Joanna. So the session today, first of all, I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about exactly what eBay for Change is. One of the most important components of the programme is our package of support. So we're going to be going through that in quite some detail. There are also certain types of businesses that are best suited for the programme, and this is sort of something that we've sort of been building on over time. So the programme has been sort of running for about a year, so there's quite a few learnings that we've sort of established over time to sort of build up a clearer picture of exactly what aspects of different businesses are best suited to really sort of succeed on the eBay for Change programme. I'll also run through the programme timings. We've got 2 cycles of recruitment which are taking place this year. One will be kicking off imminently, and that programme cycle will be starting in May, and then we've got a second cycle that's starting in September. So you're very welcome to apply for either at this stage, and essentially both cycles will be pretty much exactly the same. We've also got one of the social enterprises who are currently on the programme, Arshad, who's from Etika. So Arshad has very kindly joined us today, and he's going to be telling a little bit about himself, his business, and also his experience of the programme. And there'll also be an opportunity for you to be able to ask questions. What we found in the past is actually someone who's actually been through the experience is really well placed to be able to obviously tell you exactly what it's like. Obviously, there'll also be myself as well, who you can put any questions to. So what I will try and make sure is that we've got quite a bit of chunk of time at the end, so you can ask myself, Joanna, anyone else within the team, and also Arshad, any questions about the programme. Also did want to call out is there's a lot of information in the deck, so please don't worry about sort of taking any notes. We will send this out afterwards, so you'll have all of that detail. And then if you are interested in finding out more, we'll then direct you so you can find out more information or apply for the programme if you are interested. So before we dive into exactly what is eBay for Change, so just a little bit of context around that before we get into the details. So as mentioned, we started eBay for Change last year. We've now got almost 100 social enterprises who are selling on eBay. We have got quite a large target this year. So we've got those 100 social enterprises on the programme, and then we're also looking to bring on 400 more this year. So the idea is that we'd look to bring on board 200 in this first half of the year and then 200 in the second half of the year. And while the programme does run for 12 months, I think the point that we really do want to land is actually the intention is very much that this would be your starting point for your journey on eBay. We absolutely want social enterprise to become sort of embedded into the heart of eBay. We very much see this as the start of your journey, and would want all of the social enterprises who join the programme to then continue to sell. So I suppose it's just thinking about this 12 months is kind of your starting point, but it's certainly not the expectation after those 12 months that you would leave. And there's actually, while we have a package of support that sits within those first 12 months, what we're also learning is actually for those who have finished the programme, we also need to think about some sort of lighter touch support that will also be available to those who are then leaving after those 12 months. Right, what I'm going to share initially, so as part of our recruitment, we've pulled together a video which is quite a high sort of level view of sort of all the different components of the programme. So a nice way to introduce you. So I'll just play this first, and then we can go into sort of the specifics that this covers. just stop. Sorry, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for 1 second so I can get rid of that. So hopefully that would have given you quite a whistle-stop tour, but a good feel for eBay for Change and everything it involves. I will now go through everything in much more detail, so don't worry if some of that information you didn't manage to get. So let me just pop that back up again. And then moving on. 1 second, let me just move on to the next slide. So I hope you can do it that way. Sorry, I might just have to share it like that. So bit of context before we get into the details. So what exactly is eBay for Change, and sort of how did it sort of come to fruition? So I think the first point that we always try to sort of land is the fact that at eBay, we really believe that business can be a powerful force for positive change in the world, and that we really have a role to play in ensuring that we're helping to build a future economy that works for everybody. Our brand purpose at eBay is focused on enabling economic opportunity for all, and that very much sits at the heart of who we are as a business. And from an eBay for Change perspective, it's really about how do we really live that purpose and sort of show up in the world to bring that to life. And our focus on this was all about enabling and supporting the growth of the social enterprise sector. Obviously, businesses who very much have purpose at the heart of everything that they do. And to build out this programme, we've partnered with SUK and WFTO, and it really very much has been a joint initiative to bring this to life. And the programme consists of 3 core pillars. It will be the first pillar that's just highlighted at the top, which we'll be spending the majority of our time on today. But just so you've got that broader context, I want to take you through the other pillars that also sit within the programme. So I'll start with the second one here. So the second pillar is all about supporting and spreading the growth of the social enterprise and the fair trade business model. The intention is that we would over time enable smaller traditional businesses to potentially move and adopt these new business models. So this is probably the pillar that has probably had the least attention so far. We are doing a lot of planning around it at the moment, and it's something that we're looking to kick off in the second half of this year. So that's our second pillar. Our third pillar is all around championing sector policy asks. So we know that obviously our partners are the experts within this area, and what we hope that we can bring to the table is really sort of acting as sort of an amplifier and a microphone as sort of a bigger business to be able to really push those asks. Because we know with any change like this, it has to be systemic, and obviously sort of policy really needs to sort of come into this. So that pillar is in progress at the moment, and then we'll be working alongside the other 2 pillars. And then coming back to this first pillar, which is the one that we'll be focusing on today, this is all about supporting the growth of social enterprises on eBay. As mentioned, this is a 12-month programme, even though it does extend beyond that. It's initially a 12-month programme, and it covers a package of support that looks at specialist training. There's a range of promos and discounts, marketing activity, and also peer-to-peer networking. And we'll go through all of that shortly. And then also wanted to call out, there's actually another side of the programme that sits within sort of the microcosm of eBay for Change, and it's called Selling Social. So Selling Social is similar to eBay for Change. So we work with an organisation called Unlimited, and they fund and support social entrepreneurs. So essentially it's supporting those social enterprises at an earlier stage of their business model. And the idea being that those who've then been through that programme and then could be suitable for eBay for Change could potentially sort of graduate across to eBay for Change. Right, moving on to the next slide. So here, this is just an overview in terms of the package of support that sits within the 12-month programme. So the first element is all about really making sure that our social enterprises who are on the programme are really getting noticed. So social enterprises new to eBay, so we know that we've got a job to do to let our customers know that they can now shop from social enterprises on the platform. There's a dedicated hub where all of the social enterprises on the programme sit, and that's where our marketing activity then direct customers to, so they can start exploring and shopping. Next is the specialist support. So this runs across the full 12 months. There's the first month that is focused on really getting you set up on eBay. The next 3 months is sort of giving you all the skills so you can really start scaling your business. And then after that, for the remaining 8 months, there's a lighter touch support. So there's somebody there if you should need them, but there's not that sort of one-on-one support that you had over those first 4 months. We also offer 0 fees, and there's some other discounts which I can share with you. And then also the peer-to-peer networking. And then in line with the video, this is a point that we really do want to call out, is the fact that there is no cost associated with the program. There's no cost associated to join. There are some fees associated, particularly with the fulfillment side of things, but in terms of most of the costs, in terms of selling on eBay, they will be covered. One point that is worth calling out is that it does take time to sort of really settle in and grow your business and sell on eBay. And I think this is a learning we particularly found with our first cohort, is that it can take a number of months to really start seeing sales come in. So just really keen to make sure we sort of manage expectation around that. You will be given all of the support and the skills, but it does take time, and it does take a time investment to be able to get there. And it could be up to a number of months before those sales do start coming in. So it's not something that's going to happen immediately. And another point, so it was called out previously, but just to reiterate this, so once those 12 months have finished, we do still offer a lighter touch packet of support, and very much would like all of our enterprises who've been through the programme to remain part of that wider eBay for Change community. And then see if I can slip back to slideshow. Yes, it's going to let me do it. Fantastic. So this just is a little bit more detail around our sort of PR and marketing activity. So we did quite a bit of research up front to understand actually what do customers understand about social enterprise. I'm sure many people will not be too surprised. There was a limited knowledge around that. So what we have done is, rather than talking about social enterprise we know customers aren't so familiar with, we've come up with a descriptor that seems to be really resonating, which is small businesses with a social mission. And very much what that focus is around on the support that these enterprises are looking to achieve. So that's where the real emotional connection comes through, and that's what we lean into quite heavily from a marketing perspective. So we have bursts of paid activity throughout the year. It's mainly done through our social and digital channels, where we can target those customers who we know are most interested in sort of more purposeful shopping. The hub, which I mentioned previously, is where all of our social enterprises sit. There's just a visual of this on the right hand side. When we show the deck, you can also check that out and have a little bit of a look around. That has been running now, that's been up and running for about almost a year. And it's a great way to sort of surface sellers, and then we also look at doing it in terms of actually what we know our customers are sort of more interested in. So thinking about specific moments in time, sort of seasonality, when we will hero certain social enterprises, when we know that actually customers are more likely to be interested in those particular products. So for example, around springtime, we'll focus on sort of sportswear and fashion. I've got one of our eBay for Change ads. I'm conscious of time, so I'm probably not going to share that now, but there's a link in the deck that we will send out, so please do take a look. All of our advertising very much focuses on the social enterprises who are on the programme. And we've heard a couple of our key sellers during this time. And what we also try to do is ensure that through the marketing, we're working with different enterprises to ensure that we're sort of spreading that level of sort of exposure. But regardless of whether we are hearing one particular enterprise or another, all of the social enterprises will benefit from that sort of overarching halo effect of the marketing activity, all of which will be focused on eBay for Change. So that is the getting noticed marketing support element of the package. Oh no, please don't start. Next is the training. So I'm just going to go into a little bit more detail around this one. One point that is certainly worth calling out is, I think this is probably one of the most important elements of the programme. We found that this has had really strong feedback, and it's really been sort of integral to sort of how well the enterprises have done on the programme. So our training support is split into these 3 elements that I touched on briefly previously. So the first month is really about sort of getting you set up. So we know eBay isn't necessarily the easiest place to navigate initially. So you'll have that, that support to help you get everything set up and running. We actually had 2 different training approaches this year. One we're calling our standard approach and one we're calling our lighter touch. And they're very similar, but the format in which they're delivered is slightly different. And also the time ask is slightly different, but essentially you'll cover all of the same topics and information. So there'll be that 1 month for startup. The next 3 months are really focused on scaling your business. So eBay have a lot of tools that you can leverage, that you can use. The time is really spent making sure that you're aware of all of those tools. And then when you continue with your eBay journey, you can then just pull on the tools which are most appropriate for you at that point in time. And then lastly, across the final 8 months, we have what we call our eBay concierge service. So this isn't one-to-one, and you aren't always guaranteed to be able to speak to the same person, but essentially if you have any issues or need any support, there'll always be someone there for you at the end of the phone or the end of an email. And I think what we found is for the social enterprises who've been through the programme, this has been particularly important for them when they've lost sort of that one-to-one support, sort of always having someone there as needed, because obviously, as you grow and during your time on eBay, new challenges may arise across that time period. So always helpful to have someone there to support when needed. I won't spend too much time on this one. Let me have a look. So the next element of this is round our discounts. Let me just jump here. So in terms of the discounts that we offer, one of the biggest fees is what we call our final valuation fee. So that is roughly about 10% of every item that you would sell. eBay would normally take that money as essentially a commission. For the duration of a 12-month program, there will be none of these fees apply. So there'll be no final valuation fees. And this can often be quite a big chunk of your end profit. So actually it can really help in terms of your bottom line. So that's one element of it. And then also we offer what we call our free anchor store. So this is kind of our premium end store. You don't have to have a store to sell on eBay. But each of the stores that we have do come sort of packed with discounts and offers, which are all particularly helpful in terms of enabling you to sort of increase your exposure on the platform. And then also this comes with what we call a storefront. So that's a space where you can personalize your store. So you can add imagery, and then you can also, most importantly, talk about your social enterprise and the impact that you're looking to achieve. So really enables you to sort of stand out and distinguish yourself against other sellers. So yeah, this was just a quick run through of the 2 that I've been through. So the final valuation fees that we've touched on. We do also offer discounted fulfillment support. So we know particularly for our overseas sellers that having some form of fulfillment support is very important. So this is essentially where your stock would be housed, and then from there the items would then be distributed out once purchased. And we have a UK-based fulfillment centre. We have a new partner that we're working with. So there would be costs involved with this, but we have a very low fee structure with them, and then also we'll support you through that relationship as well. And then moving on to the final component of the programme, of the package of support, which is our community support. So I think this is something that came through quite quickly when we started the programme. I think we're all very aware that all of the social enterprises going through this programme are essentially on a very similar journey, and they all have a real wealth of knowledge and insight that can really benefit one another. So we felt that our role in this space was to make sure that actually there was a place and a platform to enable that networking and that information sharing. So we have a couple of platforms for that. There's a private Facebook group. So this is a great opportunity in terms of any sort of quick shares that you have around ideas or challenges. Joanna quite often will use this if we need to get information out quickly to you as well. And then also twice a month, we have what we call peer-to-peer sessions. So these are really a sort of a mixture of opportunities to sort of come together. Again, it could be simply sharing ideas and challenges. We also have guest speakers that join us. We're really keen to ensure that we're introducing guest speakers that we know that our social enterprises are interested in hearing from. So that could be anybody potentially within eBay that could be of help in terms of the information and support they can provide, or also external speakers. I'm just spending a little bit of time now just briefly touching on sort of what we call our sort of candidate criteria. So essentially the different elements that we know in terms of business specifics for those organisations that are best liked to succeed on the programme. So first and foremost, we do ask that you have a product offering that fits within our core category mix. So people we know very much come to eBay for certain items, and it is these core items that we know that people are coming to buy from us for. So if you were to fit within one of these categories, you've got a much better chance of getting exposure on the site. So I won't go into too much detail around these. One thing I would call out though is if you don't necessarily fit into one of these categories and you've got a question mark over actually could I be right for the programme, please do reach out to us and check, because sometimes all of the specific product elements aren't necessarily included in here. The second point is around sort of the maturity of the business. So we do ask that our social enterprises have been established for about 12 months and that also you've been trading online in some shape or form for about 6 months. What we have found is for those social enterprises who haven't had some level of e-commerce experience, so whether that's your own website or have been trading on another marketplace, they have found it more challenging to get up to speed. So we ask for roughly about 6 months. Again, there is some flexibility with that. So if it has been 4 or 5 and actually you're feeling pretty confident, then please do obviously reach out to us and we can have that conversation. In terms of time commitment to the programme, so as I touched on earlier, we actually have 2 different training packages, which we're looking and we're introducing sort of a lighter touch one this year. So in terms of the time ask, it could be anything from 2 to 7 hours. And that ask covers not only the training itself, but also the time that you would spend implementing that training. And during the first 4 months, the focus will be very much on the training side of things. And as you move into the latter half of the programme, that time is much more focused on implementing the training. And the last point, and it's a bit of a difficult one to quantify, but we ask for what we call a healthy product selection and range. That will differ massively across different sellers because everyone will have different products. So we'll actually ask for more information about that. If you are interested in joining the programme, we ask for more detail when you complete the application form. But it's sort of a bare minimum. What we do ask that if you do have one product, that you have at least a range of about sort of 5 or 6 different examples of that. So for example, if you were selling water bottles, the ask would be that you would have maybe 5 or 6 in different colours. And this just means that you've got a better chance of getting more visibility and therefore more sales when you're selling on the platform. So just a quick overview in terms of the timings for the 2 different recruitment cycles. So cycle 1, so applications are now open. Obviously, we can share some more information on you in terms of how you apply. Onboarding begins in May. You then move into your scaling support in June and through to August, and then your lighter touch concierge support kicks in for those remaining 8 months, which will run through from September into April next year. So that's cycle 1. Second cycle, so applications actually are open now, and the applications will continue to remain open until July. So actually, if you're feeling that it's too soon to commit to this first cycle, please do let us know, and we'll keep your details for when we do start recruitment for the second cycle. For the second cycle, onboarding begins in September, scaling is through October and December, and that light touch concierge support kicks in from January next year through to June. Right, at this point, I'm now going to hand over to Arshad. So Arshad is the founder and director of Etika. Arshad has been with us since we started the programme and has been very kind with his time. I think there's a number of sessions that he's joined us for to talk about his experience. So yeah, great opportunity to hand over to Arshad. So Arshad, if you could please just do a little bit of an intro and then share sort of your experience on the programme. And then I think we're going to open up the floor to questions. And those questions can be both to Arshad, myself, and also Joanna.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you very much. And thank you for inviting me to the session. I'm Arshad. I founded Etika a few years ago. So Etika is a social enterprise and also a British Fair Trade Network member. We are based, my business is based on three simple values: ethical sourcing, sustainability, and fair trade. So we work with small artisans across the world, mainly in the global south, and mainly in India because I am from India. So my goal is to rediscover those sustainable platforms, sustainable materials that artisans used to work with when I was growing up, and reduce the dependence of the customers or general public on plastics and non-sustainable materials, and also in the process provide sustainable livelihoods to these artisans, because they have been left behind by the massive industrial revolution that has taken the world by storm, and we are all used to things being mass produced, and while these artisans have these fantastic talents and fantastic skills which are kind of ignored by the wider world. So I wanted to give a platform to these artisans through Etika. So my story with eBay for Change is quite positive. I'm sure everybody else is also very positive as well. So I was already exploring eBay as a platform, because as a business, you, as a product business, definitely you need to find some marketplaces. And when Joanna and Helen, they, or in fact, somebody from Social Enterprise UK, I got an email saying we are partnering with eBay for this eBay for Change program, which will specifically work for social enterprises. I jumped for joy. I literally did, because that was something missing in the whole social enterprise program from the very beginning. And I have been talking about this over the years, that service, if you're a social enterprise and you're providing services, that's a different matter. But if you're a product-based business, there are very little avenues. You have to compete with the big bad businesses of the wider world, and you don't get to advertise yourself as much as you would want to, because obviously you don't have that kind of capital, you don't have that kind of resources. So this program was a complete godsend to me, to be honest. So I was like, as soon as I got the email, I was like, yes, I want to join, and that from there it just went. I just went along with the program, and it was even though my background is technology. I came from a technology background before I started Etika. I found eBay listing on eBay a little bit challenging. I did create listings on my own before, but the good part of the program was that I got to know so many things which I had no idea about, that you could tweak your listings like that. You could use this tool or that tool, or some, and all of those things. That training program, that onboarding program is fantastic. And the trainers, the one-to-one training. I worked with a wonderful person called Lee. I'm not sure whether she's on the call today or not, but she is super helpful. She will hold your hand throughout the process. She will take you from, if you haven't ever created your listings on a platform like eBay, you'll get complete help, 100% help, and also how to promote your listings and put them out there and advertise them, etc. The other good part of this program was that it runs for 12 months, right? And for 12 months you don't have to pay anything for putting your listings out there, because if you think about any other platform, there's so many out there. One in particular which is not really ethical at all, starts with an A and ends with an N. I'm not going to name it, but you pay a lot of money to list on that platform, and they do completely take everything from you. But again, that's the reason why I was looking into eBay, because eBay came up to be one of the most ethical platforms in the world in terms of marketplaces. So for 12 months you don't have to pay any fee, and you get get to use so many tools, you get to learn so many tools which you can apply in your on your eBay listings and in your general e-commerce knowledge going forward. So I'm coming to the end of the program because I was part of the first cohort. So we will be ending in the beginning of May, but hopefully there will there'll be some support from eBay and the whole program. The other really, really good part of this whole program is the community that we have built up. There's so many connections that you make and so many people you get to know, and everybody's so helpful. I always say social enterprise world is a very different world. We are businesses, but we don't compete with each other. We're not competitors, even though we might be selling similar things, but we still don't compete with each other. We are more like, we want to make the world a better place, and we want to make it work together, and that's how it works. And you can see it in, you go to the Facebook group which Joanna set up, and you can see that people are helping each other. People are very happy to answer the questions. When the second cohort came in, we were partnered with the first cohort was partnered with the second cohort, so one-to-ones if there was any questions required and if there was any help required. And it's a very nice. It's very different to running a normal business. It's a very different kind of world, and it's a nice group that we have here. And I'm sure when you join, if you join, you'll get the same support. There are some downsides. I'm not going to lie, because obviously, any program cannot be 100% perfect. But the good thing is, whenever there is an issue, Helen and Joanna have been there to sort them out, and I'm really, really appreciative of that. I really appreciate their help, and it's very quick as well. If there is an issue, I send an email, and one of them will jump on it and be on the case. So it's not like you are dealing with a nameless, faceless corporate giant. You're actually dealing with real people all the time. So that is very, very good. And you will come across some problems. That's the nature of the beast. It's just when you sign up to a new program, you will come across issues. You will come across some problems, but then they're sorted, and that's really, really, that's a really good part of it. And as one of the other participants of this program always says, eBay is an infinite marketplace. You can market. It's up to you how you market your products. So you can see 29 million users. It's not bad, not a small thing. You can market your products to so many people out there. Yes, of course, you wouldn't get all those 29 million users. You wouldn't be. I mean, yeah, that'll be great if all 29 million of them could be buying your product. That would be great. But but it's still a great platform. It's still a great marketplace to sell your wares and make something out of your social enterprises. And it's a great platform to highlight what social enterprises do. And it's a good thing, such a good thing that a company, a huge name like eBay, is putting their money behind this program, because that says something, right? Because that says social enterprises are not just a side hustle kind of thing. They are mainstream. We are doing something for the world. We're trying to make trying to bring about a positive change in the world. And here's this company, here's this global corporate company putting their money behind us and helping us achieve those goals. So I think that's a brilliant thing. And I'm really, really happy to have been part of the program.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, Arshad. Really appreciate that. I've just noticed that Yetta has joined us. Hi, Yetta. Yetta is our partner from the World Fair Trade Organization. Yetta, do you want to do a little quick intro?
Yes, sure. Yeah, I'm sorry I was a little bit late. I got confused with links, but I am here now. Yeah, I'm Yetta, the Partnerships Manager of WFTO. As many of you know, probably, WFTO is a membership organization of fair trade enterprises that have fair trade at the core of everything that they do, which means like they're looking at fair trade holistically, not just you know, at one sort of like supply chain or product, but they look at it in the entirety of their business. We have about 450 members around the world in about 85 countries. And yeah, we've had the privilege of being part of this amazing project. Many of our members are on the project, and as I think Arshad was probably, or is probably the best voice here to talk about the project, as he's gone through it and he knows the ins and outs. But yeah, we are part of this, and of course you can always contact us if you have any questions about the project or WFTO. And yeah, that's all from my side.
Oh, lovely. Thanks, Jette. And I've just noticed we've got Danielle as well. So sorry, I missed you initially, Danielle. So Danielle has been leading all of our training, has done an incredible job across our first couple of cohorts. So if there are any more technical questions, very happy to have Danielle here on hand. Thanks, Danielle. At this point, really keen to open up the floor to any questions. So please feel free to direct your questions to either myself, Joanna, Danielle, or Arshad.
Hi, this is Sudarshan.
Hi.
Okay, I'm in a car, so sorry, my video.
No worries.
Okay, so I had two questions. One is, is this only for B2C, or are we also planning to do this for B2B, business to business?
At this point in time, it's just B2C. We actually have been having conversations about what we might be able to do around our B2B offering in the future. But at this point, given that the program is sort of very early days and eBay is sort of very much a focus, which is predominantly on B2C, it will be just B2C at this point in time.
Okay, so that was one question. My second question was, there's a fee because we do everything from India, right? So I'm part of the Sasha group. And so everything we do is from India. So then we'll have to, how does it go about? Do we ship some products to eBay and they keep it in the warehouse, and then as customers want stuff, it is shipped out to them? If yes, then what is the fee that we have to give for that stocking, for the warehousing and the fulfillment?
So yes, in a nutshell, that's exactly what does happen. If you did want to work with us, we do offer fulfillment support. We're still working to exactly what that package of support would look like for our overseas sellers. But I think one thing we are very conscious of with the program is that we know our overseas sellers do face more obstacles just by the very nature of the fact you are based outside of the UK. So I'm actually working at the moment with Jette and Joanna to just work through exactly what that package of support looks like. But it's likely, in terms of what you would need to pay for fulfillment, it would be minimal. So unfortunately, I can't give you an exact figure at this point in time, but it's likely that any payment that you would make from a fulfillment perspective, certainly across the first 12 months, would be quite minimal.
Okay, so then would you suggest that I don't enroll for the first program, but wait on and hold on for the second program?
No. So that fulfillment support will be available for both cycles of the program. So if you are interested in applying, I'd say please absolutely do. And as soon as we've got that fulfillment package of support firmed up, we'll let you know as soon as possible. And that should be in the next sort of week or so.
Okay. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you.
Just to jump in there as well, you can also fulfill your orders directly from India. You don't need to avail of the fulfillment option. So if it suits you better to take the orders and ship them directly from.
No, if it's a B2B, it's feasible. But if it's B2C, it's not feasible.
Okay.
Directly doing, in terms of time and everything.
Yeah.
Paperwork and all that.
Can I ask a quick question? I already have an eBay
Oh, I'm sorry, Barbara.
One of the things that I found difficult, it would all be on kind of fair trade hub, because I am selling fair trade stuff. But one of the things I found difficult is to actually take things off. So when I when I want to stop selling something, I found it quite difficult to, maybe that's just me. Can you hear me okay?
I did lose you a little bit, but I think if I just play that back, you were saying that you do have, I think you've got an eBay store, and your challenge
well,
that
not
you
a store,
found.
just, yeah, I found it difficult to take items off. So trying to remove, I had some masks, you know, masks on the site, and tried to remove them. Found that quite difficult to do. That might just need some coaching.
Yeah,
but
so
that seems to me that was, you know, was kind of difficult, really. Is that just something that I've not mastered? Could well be.
so that's absolutely something the training team can pick up with you.
Okay.
So there'll be a wealth that they will share with you. So if there's any sort of challenges you're coming to the table with already, that's something they can absolutely support you on.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
No worries. Any more questions?
Ellen, there's a couple of questions in the chat. So the first question is about what the fees are going to be after the first 12 months.
Great question, and one that we almost have an answer to. So this hasn't been finalised as yet, but it's looking like, so I heavily caveat this just because it hasn't been rubber stamped by our internal teams, but it's looking like we would be offering 50% off your final valuation fee. So on the programme, you don't pay any final valuation fee, so it'd be 50%. We're also looking at offering not the anchor store package, but what we call our featured package, which is sort of our middle tier package. So that's our store package. And then also as well, we'd also like to also offer our concierge support. So that's our lighter touch support that you'll get at the end of the programme. So that's very much what we have in plan. That's really been crafted with feedback that we've had from the social enterprises from our first cohort. Arsha has also been involved in that as well in terms of sharing his thoughts. So I think what we've learned is that we do need to make sure that after those 12 months, there is a bit of a buffer. So the feeling is from the feedback we've had so far that level of support feels appropriate. Again, I must caveat, it hasn't been finalised yet, but we're very much hoping to have that all sort of rubber stamped this week.
Can I ask a question which I might have missed when I went out because the delivery person came to my door? And it's just about the overall marketing, because eBay for Change, I mean, when I ask anyone if they've heard of eBay for Change, and the answer is usually no, what is it? I've heard of eBay. And when you put in eBay, just the eBay site comes up. So in terms of sort of the marketing of this whole thing as something different, something special, and to drive traffic to eBay for Change, as well as to the eBay site, what is the situation with that? Yeah, so again, a good question. So I think a lot of the focus of our marketing initially has been around it's education and awareness. So this is new, it is early days. So we are starting to see traction. Our customers, our awareness for eBay for Change is starting to grow. People are starting to understand what it is, what type of businesses do sit within the programme. So we have, when we first launched, we did individual eBay for Change focused marketing activity. But what we're finding more and more is we're trying to integrate. So while all of the social enterprises still sit within the eBay for Change hub, the more that we can try and integrate businesses into sort of the standard part of the site, the better. And then we're also looking to integrate eBay for Change into our sort of broader marketing activity as well. So we do a lot of activity, and one of our key areas of focus is around sort of our traditional small businesses. And while obviously social enterprises are distinctly different from a consumer perspective, actually, if they're looking for something, we found that actually they've got as much interest at times in a social enterprise as they do in a traditional business. So we're really trying to bring the two alongside each other. So there would be a combination of eBay for Change sitting part of our broader
SMB marketing and also individual marketing campaigns. We have paid for activities, so we have moments in time that we would focus on specifically. We've got some activity coming up in April, and then also we'll be doing some paid marketing activity to support the anniversary, the first year anniversary of eBay for Change in May and June. And then we also do quite a bit of other activity as well. So there's quite a lot that happens from a PR and comms perspective. So our comms team work hard to really sort of surface the stories of our social enterprises with different media to try and gain traction and drive awareness. There's also opportunities for our social enterprises to be surfaced and heroed on the main site, which then helps guide people through to the hub where they can find out more about social enterprise and shop from other social enterprises, and other sort of marketing comms opportunities sort of come up throughout the year. So I suppose in summary, we have our broader marketing, which eBay for Change sits as part of. We have individual marketing, and then there's also sort of other opportunities that sort of come out throughout the year. But you're right, you know, it is very still early days. While we are starting to see people get and understand what eBay for Change is, you know, we haven't even sort of reached our first year yet. So it's certainly a journey that we're still on.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Any more questions? I'm just having a quick look at the chat.
I actually have one.
Sure.
I just started my social enterprise. It's not registered. Just started making the whole business plan, all of the things around it, and it's going to be 3 months in the next cycle, so which starts in July, was it? So if that's the case, can I still apply for it?
Yes, it sounds like if you're quite early stages, that probably the second cycle this year, which starts in September, which you can apply for now, we can capture your details, is probably going to be a better fit for you. So please do apply now. And then on the application form, you can basically just select which of the cycles that you want to apply for.
Right. And just to add on to that question, will we be getting a link to apply, or will it just be through our eBay account that we already have, not the hub or anything?
No. So after this session, we'll share the deck. So the deck that I've taken you through, so you can go through all that information in more detail. And then also we'll share a link to, we've got a Google Drive set up where you'll find the video I took you through. There'll also be an intro guide. So I really recommend that anyone who's interested in applying, please do read that intro guide, because it goes through everything, every element of the program in detail. And then there's also an application form.
Right. That's
so
fine. Thank you. And when, sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry. So we'll email that out to you after the webinar later today.
That's fine. Just last question. Do we have a deadline by when we have to apply? Because I was thinking after May I'll apply.
There is a deadline for this first cycle. I can't remember it. Joanna, do you remember the deadline date? Sorry.
So it's the 26th of April is the deadline for the May intake. We haven't yet set a deadline for the September intake, but it's likely to be towards the middle of August.
Right.
Thanks,
That's
Joanna.
fine. Perfect. Thank you.
Hi.
Sorry, yeah, there's a question in the chat just asking about sort of, do you need to be both a member of WFTO and SE UK to join? No, because it's a partnership across all of the partners. You don't even really need to be a member of Social Enterprise UK, although I'd recommend that you join. If your turnover is under 100,000, it's free to join, so you've got nothing to lose there if you're in the UK. So yes, essentially you have to be a member of either WFTO or BAFTS, which is the WFTO network member in the UK, or SE UK, or something like Social Enterprise Scotland, Social Enterprise Northern Ireland, those sorts of partner organisations, or if you've come through the Unlimited programme. So that essentially, if you can prove you're a social enterprise, a social and fair trade enterprise, then you're eligible to join this.
If in doubt, please do ask us and we can confirm for you.
Hi, this is Simona from Bamboo Living Sustainably. Can you hear me?
Simona. Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi, I have a question about listing of the product. So my business, I'm the founder of Bamboo, and similar to Arshad's business, the mission of Bamboo is to try to reduce plastic use and waste in general. So over the time, so Bamboo was founded back in 2018. And so over the time, we've kind of increased quite a lot of numbers of the product. So my question was, would you be able to help to kind of select the products that may be more suitable for eBay platform to kind of help with the process rather than having, say, hundreds of products?
The short answer is yes, but I think I might, Danielle, you're right to pick up on that one.
Yeah, of course. Could you repeat it again? Sorry.
So my question was, over the years of running the Bamboo Living Sustainably, which is essentially a plastic-free, zero waste shop, is to whether we could get some help in narrowing down the choice of the products to sell on the eBay platform.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you were to join this program, your growth coach will take you through everything. So they will bring you through all things eBay, so setting up your account, identifying what items would do best on the account. And then we have tools as well on eBay that you can use to compare to competitors or to other sellers on site to see what sells best. But your growth coach would be able to give you guidance on that as well.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I'm conscious that we're at time, so understand if anyone does need to drop that, then please do. Just as a reminder, we'll send out all of this information in an email. So that will be the deck, the video, and also instructions on how to apply. I do have some more time, so if anyone does have some more questions and would like to stay, I'm happy to stay for another sort of 10 minutes or so.
Looks like we've got a question from Lucia.
Hi, Lucia.
Yes. Hello, hi. Yeah, it's Lucia from Sacco Superfoods, and I have a question for Ashad. Ashad, you mentioned that from the very beginning of the program, you decided to sign up for the actual shop package. Do you think that signing for that package straight away made a difference in terms of your performance, the performance of your store, or not, or you still had to wait a certain amount of months to start seeing the results in terms of sales?
Right. So I already had an eBay store, not the Anchor store, because I couldn't afford the Anchor store. So I had the one of the cheaper ones when I signed up for eBay, not the eBay for Change program. So in 2021, when I signed up for the program, my existing store was converted into Anchor store. So you wouldn't see an immediate jump in the sales, as Helen mentioned. You know, it'll still take a few months. It also depends what kind of products you have, what kind of searches are happening, whether you put the right keywords in place or not. And that's what happens with the growth advisors. So they'll tell you how you should create your keywords, how you should create your headings, how you should create your listings. And when you have all of those keywords in place in your listings, that's when you'll see the sales happening.
Thank you.
No problem.
I also have a quick question. I'm a bit worried. I'm from Chaco. We have upcycled products, glass products from Zanzibar. That the time that it takes to have our products in the UK and the time that you start to join the program, how quickly do you need to have them there and start selling? Because this takes place also to get the fulfillment company who we depend on, that fulfillment partner or place.
Yeah, good question. It's actually something that we are taking into consideration, particularly for this cycle, because we are conscious that obviously that is a further challenge for social enterprises who are based outside the UK. What we're looking to do is, so while the program officially kicks off in May, we're actually setting up individual separate sessions specifically for our overseas sellers. One, to take them through the full fulfillment process, pricing, etc., so they have a really clear understanding of exactly what's involved. And then also, we know there's quite a few challenges around sort of VAT and customs and sort of navigating all of that. So we also have a separate introductory session, which will introduce you to everything you need to do. So all of this is done in advance, So the intention being that we would hope that most of this could be complete by the time you actually start the program. And then also the first month of the program is very much focused on getting set up. So at that point, it's unlikely you would even be selling. So you've kind of got that window as well to give you the time to sort of ship your goods over to the UK.
Okay, thanks.
No worries. Any more questions?
It's also worth stressing that the program isn't sort of set in stone. So if you're not ready at the end of the sort of 12 weeks where you're being trained, we will go with you. We'll work at your pace up to a point. So actually, you know, if things are taking longer for you, because it's one-to-one, we'll work at whatever pace. And sometimes you'll be ready before the 12 weeks is up. But don't think, oh, I need to be, you know, really, really sort of on it all the way through the summer. Yeah, we'll work at your pace. And if it takes a bit longer, it takes a bit longer.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, when we find if you're accepted onto the program, when the decisions made, or is it automatic, or?
So in terms of the process, so it's more about just ensuring that actually you are going to have the best chance of succeeding on the program. So we ask for some more detail to just to better understand your business. And then off the back of that, we sit down as a partnership team to just go through that and then make the decision. What is worth calling out is if we're not able to invite you to join, we're very clear on the reason why that is. And the hope being that if there's any feedback that you're able to address, then we'd very much invite you to come back and potentially apply for a later cycle. Ultimately, we would love to get as many social enterprises and fair trade businesses on the programme as possible, but we really want to ensure that we're doing the best by all of the sellers as well. We wouldn't want to bring anyone on board who we felt wouldn't have a good chance of success. And in terms of the date, I think we would be confirming by towards the end of April.
Thank you. That's good.
Any more final questions? Also to say, if more than likely there may be some other questions that will come up. So as a first point of call, I'd really recommend you go and have a look at the intro guide. So that's the guide that's on the Google Drive that we'll send you the link to. That's got all the full detail about the programme. And if you have any more questions off the back of that, please do reach out to Joanna or myself and we will try our best to answer those. Also, obviously, if you're connected to the World Fair Trade Organisation or SUK, obviously you can reach out to either Yetta or it's actually Jen. So Charlie jumped in for us today because Yetta is on holiday, but it would be Jen who you could reach out to from the SUK perspective. So we're all here to try and help answer questions. Right, at that point, I think we're going to wrap up. Thank you so much for your time. Arshad, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Great to have you here, as always. And yes, really hope to see some of you in the future. We will send out all of the information. If there's any more questions, please do let us know.
Thank you
very much. I've got all your email addresses from when you signed up to the Eventbrite. So I'll be sending out all the information and the links that you need through that link. And then the application form will be there and please do apply.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
What did that?